Spider-Man's most deadly and dangerous foe is Carnage. He is chaos. He strikes fear into Spider-Man like no other villain ever has. Yet, for many fans, he's not revered at all. Considered too one-dimensional to be one of Spider-Man's best villains, people write him off as just a slasher villain who just sells lots of toys and is evil or Venom. Which, I kind of get why you might think that. He sells plenty of toys, comics, and merchandise, like he sells it like crazy. And he's most certainly eviler than Venom. And he is one-dimensional, so I get where you're coming from, but you need to look at it like this. What that one dimension is able to do is unlock a multitude of dimensions for everyone around him. Carnage being crazy in one note makes everyone else around him 10 times better, people. 10 times better. Carnage being one-dimensional doesn't stop him from having claim to one of the greatest, not only Spider-Man villains, but Marvel villains of all time. Carnage fills a role in Spider-Man's dastardly large villains gallery that no other villain actually fills. The man is just evil for the heck of it. He loves chaos and the freedom to do so and doing everything he wants, which includes murdering whoever he wants. Spider-Man villains aren't really like that though. Like, look at the Rogues gallery. Lizard, Rhino, Goblin, Doc Ock, Sandman, Electro, they aren't bad to be bad. They usually have a motivation and end goals, right? Even Moreland, somebody who seems pretty much evil just to be evil, actually is a little bit deeper. He's trying to kill and eat all of the spider people to try and satiate his nigh endless hunger for spider totems. Carnage isn't like that. Carnage literally is here just to do whatever he wants. He does not care about the extracurriculars and the motives. I don't understand why so many people don't like this motivation or lack thereof. It's unique. No one else is like him in the entire Rogue gallery. I'd understand if there was even one other character who filled this role, because this trope can get old so fast. Evil for the heck of it. What is there to latch onto other than that? It gets old if even two characters do it. But there's only one. One character being insane and chaotic. It's pretty dope. Cletus Cassidy's craziness and lust for chaos knows no bounds. And I think it's important we look at some of the most heinous things he's done to really paint the picture of why so many characters end up being written differently and better in high-stakes situations whenever Carnage is around. Let's look at Carnage's first kill. The first man he murdered was a man named Gunther Stein. What was Carnage's reasoning for doing so? Why did he kill this man? He thought his name was stupid. Yep. Carnage searched through the phone book for what he thought would be a dumb name. He then went to the address of that person's house, waited for them to return home from work, and killed them.
And you kill him.
Absolutely nuts. That's just the first one too. This man starts off crazy and just keeps going. He is sadistic with his symbiote powers. He creates blades and weaponry. Stuff that Venom doesn't really do. He also launches symbiote weapons and blades. Crazy. Even before he became Carnage, Cletus Cassidy was a serial killer. That's actually why he was in prison in the first place. He was a murderer. He's a serial killer. When he was younger, he literally killed his own grandmother. The dude is a sadistic, twisted monster. He lured her to the edge of the staircase and shoved her down the stairs. This man is crazy. He's evil. Straight up evil. There's no way around it. He's killed an entire diner full of people. It's actually surprising to see Carnage in a diner and not kill everybody around him. That's how often it happens. It happened in his current run where he didn't kill anybody, and I was shocked, to be honest. What could be one of the most twisted things we see about Carnage is during It's a Wonderful Life, we find out in Carnage's mind, he thinks of thousands of ways he could kill Spider-Man. And you get to see a bunch of them, just different ways Spider-Man's mutilated over and over and over again. Look, I hated this next run, but the character is so insane he decided he was going to kill every Venom in the multiverse. The Venomverse. God, that doesn't sound nearly as good as Spider-Verse. Not even close. But there was no way he could do that as he was, so he had to get stronger. So he killed various Spider-Man villains and stole their powers. He then killed Malekith, someone who's literally fought Thor and beaten Thor before, and he stole his powers as well. Equipped himself with Asgardian weaponry and all new forms of power, he then sets off to take down every Venom in the multiverse. I'm done saying Venomverse. It sounds stupid. He goes after the Venoms with immunities like Venom Punk. He eventually gets strong enough to kill a multiverse variant of Null. He wins. He kills every Venom in the multiverse, besides the Venoms left on 616 because they don't show it, I guess. The Carnage run was but Death of the Venomverse was just bad. But it happened, okay? That did happen. This motherfucker Carnage is crazy, okay? On top of all this, he's known to lead cults around. Insomniac actually did a real solid job of that in their current game. He also is known to have invasions from time to time. Insomniac did a real horrible job of that in their game because Carnage didn't do the invasion. Whatever. Honestly, if you want to see something get you in a Carnage-like horror vibe, you must play Shattered Dimensions Spider-Man. There's a level in the Ultimate Spider-Man storyline where a shield base has been attacked and infected by Carnage, and it's insanely awesome. Very few times does Spider-Man tread into a horror territory in adaptations, and I think he really should do so more because it's awesome when he does so in the comics. I really honestly am just enamored by it. But this level is one of the few adaptations we do get where it's like a horror vibe. You have spider power, so you'd think you'd feel so powerful, but they do a great job creating such a good horror atmosphere. All this stuff just looks so scary. Okay. You've seen and heard enough about how Carnage is twisted and demented, but let's chat about how that one note is so crucial to creating such incredible Spider-Man stories and moments, okay? When Spider-Man fights most of his criminals, he's usually in good spirits, right? As odd as that may sound, he enjoys being Spider-Man, saving and helping people. It's what he loves to do. Most of his villains, although are powerful, are pretty reasonable. Electro isn't like, I'm trying to kill these villains just because I feel like it. Who gonna stop me? That doesn't really actually happen, okay? Sandman turned into a good guy for a bit. Rhino is incredibly misunderstood. Doc Ock is willing to threaten people, but it's almost always for the greater means. You know, he's trying to, like, hold people hostage for something. Green Goblin would rather see the city hate Spider-Man or all under a Goblin serum before he burned it to the ground, killing everyone inside. So for Spider-Man, when he's fighting all these people, he's not really too serious in most bouts. He has room to make jokes and poke fun and have a good time while he's swinging around. He's throwing out quips. Toying with the villain almost. Carnage does not allow Spider-Man the room for that, though. When Spider-Man sees Carnage, it's a whole different Spider-Man. He knows people are going to die if he doesn't stop this monster as soon as possible. Spider-Man becomes a much more desperate person when Carnage is around. Carnage sparked the greatest hero-villain team-up with Spider-Man realizing he needed Venom to stop Carnage. Spider-Man had literally tricked Venom into thinking that Venom had killed Spider-Man. Venom was off on this island chilling like, word, life's good, I did what I had to do, I killed that Spider-Man dude, I'm chilling. Then Spider-Man's like, thank God I don't have to deal with that bloodthirsty maniac Venom anymore. He's off on that island thinking he killed me. I'm chilling. And then Carnage shows up and Spider-Man's like, I think I need that Venom guy back. And because Venom was cellmates with Carnage, or Cletus Cassidy, he's like, oh God, okay, I think I gotta work with this spider guy. So the two of them actually team up, like, almost not begrudgingly. They're kind of like, yeah, I kind of need this guy. Like, there's really no way around it. Begrudgingly or not, they knew they had to do so, okay? Carnage also really helped unlock good guy Venom all around. Venom was never really the monster people say he was. He mainly targeted Spider-Man, and he would, you know, help innocents. Like, actually go out of his way to help innocents and save people. He really just hated Spider-Man and saw him as the ultimate evil. But with Carnage around, both Spider-Man and Venom have to partner up with whom they think is the ultimate evil to stop this monster. Maximum Carnage is so good. I really recommend y'all read this book or play the old school game or something. I'm sure you could find the game somewhere on your computer. Any computer made after like 2002 could run it. I'm sure of that. It has actual scans from the comics. It's like my literal childhood. I love this game and Separation Anxiety so freaking much. Where was I again? Oh, right. Carnage makes everyone around him into better characters. Maximum Carnage is godlike, but it's not the only time Carnage is shown making Spider-Man and Venom so much better. Let's look at Absolute Carnage. Spider-Man and Venom are trapped in a prison with Cletus Cassidy's Carnage, who's powered up and amped up, and he's also got a bunch of Carnage symbiotes running around with him. It's a very scary situation. The horror vibe in comics, like I was telling you guys about, this is another good one. Read this comic. Spider-Man and Venom are stuck in a room together, with Venom holding back the door against the horde of symbiotes and Carnage. Venom is literally yelling to Spider-Man, stop trying to be clever and be strong. So Spider-Man webs up his fists and starts breaking down the wall behind them. It is raw as hell. Venom then would go on to smash the wall open, and this is where you get a great glimpse of Venom's wings. We first see that with Miles during the Kate's run, but this is Peter's first time seeing the wings, and it's godlike. Look at this moment, yo. Wow, these two characters are just great together. The 90s animated cartoon also does a great job showing the Spider-Man Venom team up against Carnage. It's peak. Venom and Spider-Man take on Carnage, and then they also take on Carnage, Dormammu, and Mordo. It's a little more weird, but so cool. Venom would go on to give his life to stop Carnage and the rest of the magic goons. Carnage's character in this show is so solid. From his very first appearance, he's like a massive problem for Spider-Man and Venom to handle. You can tell they couldn't show Carnage murdering people, so he would steal people's life force and bring them back to Mordo and Dormammu. I get it. The show was for kids. Carnage is definitely not for kids, but they still put him in and made it work, and it's very well done, so you gotta give credit where credit is due. I think the voice acting is really godlike for Carnage. This is like a 10 out of 10 voice acting for me. I wish more Carnage's voices actually sounded like this as well.
I hope your life force isn't as useless as your life.
To end the show, he's also like the big bad as Spider Carnage, but that's not what I'm really here to focus on. He's a dope character though. I might make a video on cool variants. Speaking of variants, Monster Ock? Y'all ever played Neversoft Spider-Man? I always talked about it for Venom. But Carnage is in it too. He actually combines with Doc Ock, and they create Monster Ock. It's very scary. It didn't last too long, but man, was it horrifying. If you said you weren't scared of this when you were a kid, you're lying. I don't trust you, and I don't believe you. This was horrifying. We've come this far. We've talked about Cletus Cassidy's Carnage so much. We might as well just talk about the Venom 2 movie as well. We've already made it here. The design? It's pretty nice. I kind of like it. It's dope. I don't really like Woody Harrelson as Cletus. I've talked about this before. I think Matthew Lillard would have been great. I actually still think at this moment, this movie came out like, what, 5 years ago? I think he still would have been great, if not 4 years ago. I'm not sure exactly, but I think he still probably could even do it if he wanted him to. I also think toning down the violence and not making them a perfect match was, depressing. This movie could have been rated R. They just chose not to. We've already seen rated R superhero movies. And if any superhero should get a rated R movie, it probably would be Venom. No. I mean, he eats people's heads off. When you look at the concept art, too, you just get even sadder because this stuff in the concept art looks dope as hell. And what we got in the movie, for the most part, didn't really look too dope outside of the designs, I did not like the voice acting in this case. I think it's a little too deep.
Death to you, Father. No! Not you, Father. You, Father.
I like Carnage is more shrill. He's like shorter, shrill, stronger than Venom, and scary because he's like, doesn't care. It's the ambivalence and like the freedom he gets to use that makes him so scary. That design, though, kinda dope. Carnage as a whole is super underrated. If you don't consider him one of the greatest Spider-Man villains, you really have to start. He's been around a little over 30 years, and what he's done in that short time is nothing to scoff at. The way he's characterized when done right is just so interesting. At the end of it all, Carnage just wants freedom. The freedom to do whatever the heck he wants. And to me, that makes a great villain. Carnage rules. Y'all aren't subscribed. What the heck is that about? Subscribe. And also, check me out over here. I got the best Spider-Man takes in the world. You're going to want to see him. Dunk out. Peace.